Brooklyn Independent Television.
Hello, welcome to Neighborhood Beat, your passport to Brooklyn. I'm your host, Aaron Watkins. In this scrumptious episode, we'll revisit 4 great restaurants that are sure to whet your appetite. Our first stop will be at Peach's Hot House in Bed-Stuy for hot chicken and some High Falutin Jambalaya. Then, we'll mix it up Latin style at La Flor Del Paraiso in Bococa. Next, we'll sample locally sourced cuisine at the Good Fork in Red Hook before we chow down on Italian classics at Noodle Pudding in Brooklyn Heights. Stay tuned.
After opening the Smoke Joint in Fort Greene and Peaches on Lewis Avenue right in the heart of Bedford-Stuyvesant, Ben Grossman and Craig Samuel decided to come together to open up Peaches Hot House right here on Tompkins Avenue.
My name is Craig Samuel, and I'm the owner of the Smoke Joint Group in Brooklyn. The Smoke Joint Group is comprised of the Smoke Joint, which was our original restaurant, Peaches in Bed-Stuy, Peaches Hot House, also in Bed-Stuy, and our newest is the Little Brother Barbecue. Right now we're at Peaches Hot House on Tompkins and Hancock. We named the restaurant Peaches Hot House after the hot chicken that we serve. It's Nashville-style hot chicken.
Craig and I are classically trained chefs. We've been doing this, Craig for 20 years, me for 18 years. We have worked in some of the finest dining establishments in New York, in France, in Spain. What we wanted to do is bring some of that food back to where we were from. So here at Peaches Hot House, we have a menu segment called Baked Grits. We take a little bit of olive oil in the pan. We have oyster mushrooms, shiitake mushroom, cremini mushroom. We hit that with a little bit of caramelized onions. Hit it with a little salt, a little black pepper, green onion. We fill the bottom of this baking dish. And then we already have these beautiful Anson Mills grits. We put it right over the top of the mushrooms. And then top it with a little bit of our farmhouse cheddar, aged Parmesan cheese. And we pop it in our oven to bake. So after about 6-7 minutes in this hot oven, and we have a beautiful baked grits with market mushrooms. Well, Craig and I are both from Brooklyn, born and bred. I grew up in Flatbush. Craig grew up in Bed-Stuy. We love Bed-Stuy because of the reception that we've gotten.
One of our favorite dishes is a low country rice bowl. It's got meat and fish and vegetables, and it's just really a wonderful dish that you just can't find anywhere. This is our updated jambalaya. We're adding a bunch of different flavors from the past with some of the flavors from the present. We've got caramelized onions and garlic, sweet red onion, andouille, which is very traditional, and Gulf shrimp, stewed tomatoes, and fresh Maine crab. Now that's one of the ingredients that we added in to make it a little more interesting. So where do we start? You're going to add these first 2 ingredients in. I have nothing but faith in you.
Okay, now I'm going to add the sausage in.
Mm-hmm. And you just want to stir that together. And at this point, I think you can go ahead and add the shrimp in. And we're going to let that go for about 2 minutes.
We're adding a little salt.
And a little cracked black pepper. So
it smells delicious.
And add the tomatoes in. Mm-hmm. This is Carolina Gold rice. We cooked it with some fresh tomatoes and garlic. Add just a little bit of vegetable stock. So after a couple of minutes, you see the shrimp are just about cooked through. We just add the rice at the bottom of this pan. Some of the tomatoes.
Now we're going to put the shrimp.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. You're a natural. Now I'm going to pull out the secret ingredient.
Ooh.
Slow cooked stuff.
You are so highfalutin.
The last ingredient is this jumbo lump crab meat.
So this is a French-inspired Southern cuisine dish in the heart of Bedford-Stuyvesant.
You said it.
I love it. Now this is High Falutin Jambalaya.
because I believe that good food should be affordable. In the last few years, everyone is talking about local food and sustainable food, but the one thing that I've noticed is anything that's organic or all natural is so much more expensive. It's extremely important to me to provide people with a quality experience without breaking their bank. On Lewis Avenue, we also have Peaches Events, which is a complete event management company. You can order food from any of our 4 restaurants, and you can also use the space right up the street from Peaches. One of the things I'm most proud of is that we've been able to hire and retain employees who live in the communities. All of our restaurants are in Brooklyn, and they're all very easy to get to. So come on down, we'd love to see you.
If you've ever walked down Atlantic Avenue near Bond Street, you've probably noticed 2 distinct vintage churches that line up near each other. The one located nearer to Bond is the Belarusian Autocephalic Orthodox Church, formerly St. Peter's Episcopal Church, built in 1902. The other was originally the Swedish Pilgrim Church, built in 1903, and is now the House of the Lord Church. Specializing in Latin comfort food, La Flor del Paraiso's extensive menu brings you everything from nachos and enchiladas to apple empanadas. And when you add mojitos, martinis, and margaritas to the mix, you can understand why the regulars can't just stay away. Buen provecho.
My name is Elizabeth Marte. I am the owner of La Flor Del Paraiso restaurant, number 5 and number 3. La Flor Del Paraiso is my favorite flowers, La Flower Paradise. We just opened the restaurant over here because to me, I want to have another place to the people that can going out for dinner because I have another one for lunch.
I enjoy the atmosphere. It's very pleasant, quiet. There's lots to offer as far as drinks, food menu, the option of like having TV screens, things. It's a really good setting.
Well, I was like, oh, a Latino restaurant in the neighborhood. There really isn't one. I mean, you can go have a Mexican, but not, this is more like a fusion of Latino food.
I decided this menu of different type of food because the people, when they decide to have like Dominican food, they can have a Dominican food, or Mexican or Americans.
I'm a big fan. It's a lot of Dominican food. There's a wide variety of menu, which kind of appeals to everybody, which I think is really nice.
My name is Antonio. I am the chef at Paraiso restaurant. This is the churrasco. I season it with olive oil and garlic, salt, black pepper, and put in the grill. Now I cook in the crab cake. This is our appetizer. Fresh crab meat with onions, pepper, chipotle, cilantro. This is the double mustard sauce. This is heavy cream with mustard, garlic. So now I made the nachos, black beans. This is top ramen steak. This is cheddar cheese, jalapeno cheese, and mozzarella. Okay, the nachos are ready. Now I cut in 4 pieces. I serve it with small salad, guacamole, sour cream, and pico de gallo. Now also to the broccoli for the churrasco, okay? The crab cake, okay, made with fresh crab meat. This is the churrasco. Okay, this is a dessert. I made the flan. I made with 3 milk, whole milk, heavy cream, and condensed milk. Okay. And this is almond coconut cookie, cherry on the whipped cream. Okay.
For the neighborhood, I have like hot meats, Spanish, American, different countries. They come to visit my place.
They do appreciate their customers, they really do. And we come at least twice a week.
Yes.
They're really regulars. They're like, you know, Norm on Cheers. We've been living in the neighborhood for 6 years now. I think there's like a new business or restaurant opening up like every other week. And it was nice to see this type of food come in here. It's just a nice variety. I don't know, I love it.
I see most of the people they live in, they're very happy. They like it the way the Atlantic Avenue changed. Because before it was totally different, now they changed a lot. Everybody happy.
I've watched the neighborhood just transform in the past 25 plus years for the better. Growing up in this neighborhood, there was really nothing to be around. It was all about venturing out into Manhattan. Now there's so much to do around here: cafes, restaurants, sightseeing areas. It's very beautiful just to even walk around.
As you can see, our favorite things here is like the margaritas that we like to make. In our margaritas, we put the tequila, put triple sec, a nice lemon juice. This is the way that we do our margaritas.
For the ingredient that we use to prepare my food, everything is fresh and good quality, because I don't want to have my customer for today, I want to have my customer for tomorrow.
Their guacamole is great, with a plate of rice and black beans. They have a great broiled tilapia fish. You explore the menus and you view the menu, and it's kind of makes it hard to choose what you want to have as far as like the main entree.
My favorite thing on the menu is the empanada, the chicken empanada or the beef empanada, and I love the arroz con pollo.
Started off originally with the vegetable quesadillas when I was pregnant. I think I had one every other day. I was obsessed at first. And then I have this apple empanada. It's amazing. It's like with cinnamon on top, and inside it's like apple, and it's warm, and it's, I don't know, it's really good.
La Flor Del Paraiso, be located 491 Atlantic Avenue.
200 years after the arrival of the first Dutch settlers, Red Hook's marshy land remained rural and undeveloped. It wasn't until the construction of the Atlantic Basin in the 1840s did Red Hook begin to grow, with the peninsula becoming one of the busiest shipping centers in the United States. Built and operated by husband and wife team Ben and Sohi, the Good Fork is a Red Hook culinary staple, with comfy surroundings just as inviting as their food. They boast an amazing Asian accented menu with everything from crab cakes to gumbo. Sounds delicious. Is your mouth watering yet?
Table one.
My name is Ben Schneider. I'm here at the Good Fork restaurant, which is my restaurant that I own with my wife, Sohi Kim. And I'm here today as well with my son, Oliver Schneider. My wife and I opened this restaurant about 4 years ago. She had been cooking professionally in the city, and I was a carpenter, and we felt like there was not very many restaurants in Red Hook, and so we went for it, and here we are today.
Having lived in Red Hook for as long as we did, we sort of fell in love with the neighborhood. Red Hook is sort of up and coming. It has been for the past sort of 5 years, and I think we timed it pretty correctly. Really not expecting a whole lot, just to sort of feed the neighborhood and have the neighborhood come and support us. And it kind of blew up in a very good way. New York Times came to review us. It was a glowing review, you know. We started off, you know, running fast and furious, and it's been a steady run since then.
The food we serve, if you had to classify it, you would probably say seasonal New American. The truth is that it's just the food that we like to eat. So it's some classical French stuff, some classical Italian stuff, and then my wife, who's the chef, is Korean American, so there's some Korean and then other Asian influences in the menu. But it's not fusion food, it's not all mixed up. Everything has its own kind of simple integrity.
Prior to opening, we had to write a business plan that included obviously the concept of the restaurant. We wanted to be in Red Hook, you know, serving the neighborhood, have the atmosphere be very charming and cozy, the food very simple. Sort of wanted one foot in fine dining, one foot in sort of comfortable food, like a neighborhood cafe, bistro type of restaurant. And as far as the menu planning was concerned, it was difficult for me to describe to people what kind of restaurant, because you know, they look at an Asian chef, they figure an Asian restaurant or a fusion type restaurant, but I wanted all the food, every single menu item to be authentic as possible. And so I wanted the menu to be more globe-trotting, world influence, I suppose. So to describe it as eclectic, New American, you know, homemade kimchi, which is very, very Korean as you can get. So starting to introduce the neighborhood and perhaps the world, you know, of my take on it.
We definitely want to do more stuff in the business. Although it's been extremely challenging and frustrating and scary at times, it's also exciting and we enjoy it. So, but I wouldn't want to just do a carbon copy of this restaurant somewhere else. I feel like this place has its own unique spirit, and I think it's better to try and come up with something that is a variation on the original, rather than try and repeat the original.
Tell us, what are we cooking today?
We got grouper here. This is one of the fish dish, and this is going to get pan-seared, and it's get cooked with some cardoon 2 different ways, and yam roasted potato, and a lobster butter sauce.
Sounds delicious. Let's get started.
Okay. I'm seasoning the fish.
Okay.
Salt and pepper, both sides.
So what kind of fish is grouper?
Like a farm texture and a little bit flaky. And so now the pan's really hot smoking. So you want the skin side on, right down in the oil. And you want to hear the really searing sound. And the skin gets curly, so you want to press it down. This goes in the oven.
And how long does it go in the oven for?
About 4 minutes. This is 500 degrees, the hot, you know, very hot. So this is cardoon, the vegetable that is like our artichoke family. We brunch them with a little bit of lemon juice and salt, and gets the lemon thyme. This is the roasted potato.
What kind of potato is it?
Yum, sweet potato, and also Yukon potato in it. It goes in the oven.
Excellent.
This is already cooked, so you just have to heat it up, and has a little bit of butter in it, so you want to reduce it down. I'm ready to plate.
Okay.
Fish out. So when it's things
So
like
how do you
this,
know when it's done? So when it's okay.
you want this part to be like slightly pink, and then you flip over, and let it cook for like 20 seconds. It'll be done.
So we have the potatoes coming out.
So this is one. So here is the cardoon brunched until it gets very, very soft. And then I reduced the heavy cream with a little bit of shallots and thyme. And instead of making a gratin, that would be a delicious thing. So you just make...
So this is like the sauce with it. I'm getting it. I like that you use 2 different potatoes. I think that's really interesting.
This is the reduction of wine, shallots, garlic, and tomato. And then I add lobster stock and then reduce it. But it's good. So I'm going to add the cardoon on top. And the fish.
The main piece.
And it gets a little lemon thyme around
And
it.
the colors too. Thank you, Sala. This is excellent. And I'm excited because I get to eat what you made.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you live on Cranberry Street, you probably know the cinematic history of the home behind me, where Loretta Castorini, Cher, fell in love with Ronnie, aka Nick Cage, in the classic New York movie, Moonstruck. Snap out of it! As far as restaurants go, Noodle Pudding has withstood the test of time. And don't let the name throw you. Once you step inside, you'll see why New York Magazine dubbed this Henry Street restaurant some of the best Italian food in the city.
opened the restaurant 15 years ago. What I wanted to do is not make you go home and cook. Make it impossible to go home and cook. I wanted you to stop here and eat here because it wasn't worth it for you to go shopping. Go home, prepare it, put it in your plate. And that was the original idea. That wasn't easy.
I've been a chef in Noodle Pudding for 6 years. Mainly it's like pastas, I would say our main dishes, and grilled fish. You know, so there's a lot of seafood, but we sell a little bit of everything.
Alfredo Musical Micoli, Brian Vines.
Nice to meet you, Brian.
Nice to meet you too. So what are we making today, Alfredo?
We're making a traditional dish from the town of Bari, in Puglia. My grandmother made this dish for me so many times. I love it.
Really?
I love this dish, yes. She grab the broccoli up, cut the stem a little bit, it's too thick to cook, throw the stem, smash the top part of the stem, and keep the leaves and the cima di rapa. Pretty much use 1 fillet of an anchovy per person. And I smash a couple of cloves of garlic from the dish. I'm gonna salt the water. And we merge them in water. And we let them cook a little bit.
So why do you cook the pasta in the same water as the broccoli?
Because the pasta is gonna get all the flavor from the water. I put olive oil here. We don't do a lot of cooking at super high temperatures. We give time for the garlic to cook. At this point, the garlic is cooking. I have orecchiette with this semolina flour pasta. There is no egg in here. So,
and it's orecchiette.
Orecchiette, little ears.
Shaped like a little
ears. So, turn off the heat.
Okay.
Remove the garlic before it gets burned. At this point, while the oil is not super hot, I'm gonna add the anchovies. Just a little bit of crushed red pepper. I always save some of the water, just in case the dish comes out a little dry. I'm gonna plate it.
It's such a simple, nice dish. Very quick too.
Yeah. In Bari, we don't add any cheese, but here we do because most Americans like cheese on the pasta.
This is Noodle Pudding's orecchiette alla braise. I may be saying it wrong, but there's no wrong way to eat it, so. I get the garlic and the anchovies and the little ears. And it's nice and oily too.
I haven't seen you guys in a while. My customers, they come from all walks of life.
Welcome back, welcome back.
They seem to like this place.
Doing good, you might be found. Somebody will find you.
Yeah. It's a neighborhood place. You get great food, reasonable prices, and totals here. We come for total.
I come to Noodle Pudding because the food is unbelievable, the food is consistent, the people are great. In the 15 years that this place has been open, there's been very little turnover with the staff, so it's like entering a clubhouse. My late father used to eat here 3 days a week. I'm here every night. It's across the street from my house, and it's one of the best restaurants in New York City.
It's a team effort, definitely. From the owner all the way to the dishwasher.
My staff, I think I should be a saint. At one point, they should be elevated me to sainthood for putting up with my chef. They're going to build a cathedral after me with my name on, San Antonio of Ischia, for putting up with Tom. But seriously, the staff, it's a big job.
Rolando. This is number 1. Solin. This is Solin, El Gran Solin. Mario. 2 arms. He works, this man works like an animal, worse than an animal. And now, the king of the pasta maker, Ruben.
It's the most difficult thing to do, maybe not just in the restaurant business, in any business, is controlling and getting along with the staff. That takes magic.
Cesari!
Sometimes maybe dysfunctional family, but a family nonetheless, without a doubt. That's first and foremost. I wouldn't want to work for anyone else. Noodle Pudding is a warm, friendly, sometimes hectic, sometimes insane place, but a place where you will get good bang for your buck.
This is also another traditional dish from Bari as well. So I chop the breadcrumbs. I put the breadcrumbs with the parsley and the garlic. I add also some dry breadcrumbs and some cheese. An egg.
Yeah.
A little bit of salt in it and a little bit of crushed red pepper. So now that I have the filling, I take the sepiolina, which has been cleaned. We have taken the skin and the bone out, and I stuff it. You don't want to stuff too much because obviously having the egg in there is gonna, expand. So once I stuff it, I secure it with
a regular old toothpick.
Yeah, just an old toothpick. The next step, I use tomatoes, which basically I seed. I crush the tomatoes.
Yeah.
As usual, extra virgin olive oil, some chopped garlic. Add the tomato now. I add a little crushed red pepper, a little parsley, and a little salt. After the tomato starts boiling, all I have to do, I put the sepiolina in it. Lower the flame to a simmer, okay, and you just leave it alone. You just let it cook for 40 minutes, and that's the dish.
I can do that.
I think it's very simple.
This is the dish that I've been waiting for, the stuffed sepiolina. And it's the cuttlefish stuffed with that egg and bread mixture. This one is coming home with me.
Well, that does it for this special episode of Neighborhood Beat. I hope my visit today will inspire you to get out and experience all of the culinary wonders that Brooklyn has to offer. For more information on the Neighborhood Beat series or to watch past episodes of the show online, visit us on the web at brickartsmedia.org/BIT. Like us on Facebook and find us on YouTube and iTunes. Search word BK Independent TV. Stay beautiful, Brooklyn. Cheers.
Become a fan on Facebook, like Brooklyn Independent Television.